in terms of tax implications, and I'm not sure if it's a tax implication or not, but it's something that I think that purchasers need to be aware of. If they buy a villa, for example, and they want to rent either independently by themselves through VRBO or Airbnb, or if they want to have a property manager look after the rental of the villa, manage it, collect rent, etc., the purchaser is going to have to apply for and receive a business license that will allow them to conduct short-term rentals. And they will also have to apply for what we call an accommodation license as well too. So it's not simply a matter of coming to the islands, buying a villa, setting things up on an Airbnb account or VRBO account, and then running along with the rentals. There are obligations if you want to rent that villa through a portal of some sort. Whether you're with a property manager or if you're renting independently. Now, if you're renting a condo unit through a condo development, and you're renting under the RMA, the rental management agreement, the development will look after all of the licensing and all of the remittance and all of the payment to the government for the hotel and accommodation tax. So something just to be aware of as a purchaser. A couple of other things that particularly buyers and vendors. Buyers should be aware of purchasing at condominium developments, because you want to review, and you would with your attorney in any event, but you want to be completely aware of the bylaws at a condominium unit, the rules and the regulations of owning a condominium unit. You also want to be aware of how the rental income under a rental management agreement is split. So you want to get budgets, and you want to be ensured that the condominium unit is insured properly. And these are details and things that your attorney should collect for you as part of your due diligence, because you do have a 14-day, 21-day due diligence period between the time that you sign the preliminary agreement with your agent and the time that you go to contract. So you bundle all of this information up, budgets and insurance, proof of insurance and whatnot, and you get the RMA, the rental management agreement, so that you can see how rental income is divided. Most developments are 60-40 to the owner. Some are 50-50. So the buyer should be aware of that. The other thing that the vendor should be aware of is how you repatriate your money back to your home country, whether it's Canada or the United States or the UK. I don't give tax advice, never will, won't even try. So you'll want to coordinate things with your onshore counsel on how to repatriate money to so that you can lessen your tax load, essentially. The other thing I should mention too is that, again, and I'll defer to onshore counsel on this as well. Again, I'm not a tax attorney, but generally speaking, your rental income is reportable back to your home country. Whether or not there are taxes paid on that money, well, that's up to your onshore counsel. But generally speaking, you have to report back. So you want to be aware of that as well. You can have a TCI will. I mean, there are a lot of moving parts to all of this. I'm just trying to hit the highlights, but you can have a TCI will that can cover your TCI assets. So you can have an onshore will, and you can have a TCI will. The benefit of having a TCI will is that there are no estate or inheritance taxes down here. And it's a relatively simple, quote unquote, process. So you can have your onshore estate being probated independently of your TCI estate. So to keep that in mind as well. As an owner-occupier of the other thing you want to be aware of as an owner-occupier or an owner of an owner of a condominium unit is you want to be aware of when you can use your unit. Because if you're under the rental management agreement, they want to rent your property. They don't want you using it. They want to rent it. And so there are notice periods in the rental management agreement that you will be a part of that you'll want to be aware of. If you want to use the property, let's say for Christmas, you'll probably have to give notice in July. Any other time during the year, maybe 90 days notice. So you want to be aware of these little things that you may not be thinking about when you're looking at this beautiful piece of property thinking, yeah, I want this. So something to keep in mind as well.